Good day and welcome to the polytunnel. It is what is it? It's the 5th of November. It's Guy Fawkes night. And I am finally down at the allotment to plant our Messidrome garlic and also our broad beans. And I had hoped to get this all sorted by the beginning of October. But you know what? Time just got in the way. Life got in the way. Just didn't happen. Then I got a cold, and then there was an awful lot of work going on, and I just haven't been able to do it. I finally came down this morning on a pretty grey day. Yesterday it was gloriously sunny with blue skies for much of the day, and today I've woken up and it's grey. But hey, never mind. There we are. That's life. It's a plane going over. So yeah, I am planting our Messidrome garlic. Comes, as you will know, in bulbs, which you then, I don't think I'm going to take some of that off, which you then split. Of course, that one doesn't want to split. And then you get your clove. So I have done a whole load here already. And what I do want to say is when you are going through and splitting things out, do make sure you check the bulbs. You can see this one has actually got a little cut in it, or an indentation. And if I'm not sure if you'll see this, but can you see here? No, I don't think you can. But here, again, that's a little bit grey. And I'm sure if I open this up, look, if I open it up, hopefully, no, back here, hopefully you can see it's actually got a little bit of rot on there. So when you're going through your garlic cloves, which is what we're going to plant, do make sure that they are good and healthy. And if any aren't healthy, then ditch them, because what you don't want to do is plant out an unhealthy clove in the ground, and then that spreads to others as it goes through the growing season. So I'm going to show you where I'm going to plant these in a moment. What we're going to be doing is we have a bed which is 80 centimeters wide. I'm going to be planting 4 rows into that 80 centimeters wide bed, and then the cloves are actually going to be spaced about 4, maybe 5 inches apart, something like 5 inches apart. These are the standard garlic. This is an elephant garlic. Just waving at somebody down there. These aren't elephant garlic, which need to be planted further apart, but we're going to do elephant garlic on another day, so I'll come back to you then. We're also going to be planting our broad beans. This year we're going for Bunyard's exhibition. That's what they look like. Absolutely lovely, and they're going to be going into another bed. Where's the camera? There it is. They're going to be going into a separate bed, and I will show you that when I come to it. When you are planting things out, do try and think about how you're going to maintain that crop. With onions and garlic, we hand weed between all of our onions and garlic. We're not overwintering onions this year. We're going to plant them in the spring. But these garlic that are going in now, we are going to hand weed those throughout their growing season. If you want to hoe them, if you use a hoe regularly and you want to hoe them, plant them further apart and make sure your rows particularly are further apart so that you can get the hoe in there without damaging any of the growing cloves or growing onions. I mean, it's good advice actually for any crop that you're putting in. Think about how you're going to maintain it and try and maintain it weed free, obviously. One thing with onions and garlic, they do not like being crowded out. They like to have their own space. So keeping on top of weeding for that crop is I think it's essential. It's not important, it's essential. There are a few other crops that you can get by with letting a few weeds grow, but onions and garlic is certainly not one of those. So anyway, I'm now going to show you the bed that the garlic is going to go into. Doing this from the polytunnel as it's still drizzling quite a bit, and I don't want to put the camera thingy out into the rain. So this is going to be our garlic bed. It's where we had our tomatoes earlier this year, or some of our tomatoes at least. And you can see that I put a string down the center of it. Hopefully you can see I put a string down the center of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plant 4 rows down, so 2 on either side of that string. I'm going to be making a hole with my finger. I always use my finger. I'm going to be making a hole with my finger about twice the depth of the garlic clove, and then popping it into that hole and then covering it up. What I am going to do first is just lay out the rows before I start popping everything into the holes. Not because I need to have exactly each garlic in the right place, but I'm not sure how many cloves I will actually need and whether it will fill up the whole bed, because what I don't want to do is end up with 2.5 or 3.5 rows. I'd rather have a block at the end here. In fact, I'd rather have a block at the end here. This gets slightly less light. I'd rather have a block at the end there that is not garlic, if you see what I mean. So I'm going to start laying out the garlic from this end up to this end, but I'm going to do 4 rows, 4 rows, 4 rows, 4 rows, 4 rows, and see how far up this bed I get. Right, so that's all the garlic laid out. Some of these are quite big. Hadn't quite realised how big they are. So I'm going to trowel in a few of them. I'm going to get on with that now. Job done. So there we have it. All the Messidrome garlic is in. as you saw, I planted from down here up, and it's only this very top end of the bed, most probably about, oh, I don't know, maybe 10 inches, maximum 12 inches here, that we could put some flowers in for next year, but flowers that aren't going to fall over onto the garlic, so things that actually come up. So we may actually put some tree lilies in there that we were sent. Right, there we are. Gosh, that's a relief. Garlic done. This is our broad bean bed for this year. We do actually have some autumn sown broad beans on the bed next to it. We'll see that in the tour when we do the November tour. What I'm doing, again, you can see I put a central line down. I tend to do a central line if I'm just sort of planting things by eye. I'm not too fussed about exactly how accurate they are. And what I'm going to do is sort of very similar to the garlic. I'm going to put 2 rows down this side and 2 rows down this side, but just to leave a little bit of a gap between the 2 inner rows, this side here and this side here. So I'm just going to space them out now. Again, I'm going to this time I'm going to start from that end and work up and see how far we go with these beans. These are the beans. Right, that's them all spaced. Now I am literally just going to dip my finger next to them, make a hole, and then cover them up. The hole will be about 2 inches deep. Job done. I've put this bamboo cane just at the bottom of the bed because, again, this space here has got no seeds in, so we'll look at putting something else in there. Well, there we are, finally on the 5th of November we've got our garlic and sorry, the bird came onto the polytunnel then. Pretty. We've got our Messidrome garlic in, and we've also got our Bunyard's exhibition broad beans in, and I am so pleased. The soil is fabulous. It's really soft, and just using your hands or using a trowel is so easy in this soil. It's had quite a lot of conditioner with manure and compost and that type of thing over the years. So happy with the soil. So happy with getting this done today. I can tell you, I'm so happy about having those 2 jobs done today. Thanks very much for watching. Oh, the broad beans, the rows are about maybe 10 inches apart between the 2 rows of broad beans, and then there's about a foot in the middle, and they're planted about 6 inches apart. The actual seeds are planted about 6 inches apart. Oh, more planes. Anyway, there we are. I hope you heard that. I should have shouted if not. Okay, thanks very much for watching. We will see you very soon for the November allotment tour. Actually, it'll most probably be, it's a few days away for sure. As you may know, we are now doing a podcast, and there will be a podcast, I hope, in the next day or so. We'll be doing that and uploading that. You can find that on soundcloud.com soundcloud.com/Richard and Paul. But if you go to SoundCloud and put in Richard and Paul, it should come up in the search there. And you can also listen to the podcast directly from our website, richardandpaul.com/podcast. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I am so happy to have got that job done today, or those 2 jobs done today. See you soon. Bye.